And I'm going to spotlight myself, and then you can speak, and it won't take your photo. It won't do your image. Hello, people in TV land. You're in the Laban lab. I'm trying to figure out my life, how to make this thing happen. All right. So I know that the people in my Zoom room have already experienced some of this, but I want to play with some of the space and the scales, and then some dynamic qualities. And also, what if we move more freely in them so that we're not necessarily following the rules, but we're breaking the rules and shifting from place to place as we would like to, or in any sort of way that we want to. But first, we're going to start with just learning the basic stuff, which we've done before, and I'm sure. But I feel like this is the kind of material that you can just layer in, and it's so valuable and interesting. So here's an octahedron. Oh, here's a tetrahedron, right? The tetrahedron is a four-sided dice. This is the most stable of the solids and of the platonic solids. Like if I'm sitting like this, I'm kind of in the shape of a tetrahedron. Like, let's see there. Let me make my tetrahedron body. It's an approximation. This is the way that things work in here. But here's an octahedron. And so in my octahedron, I have my vertical, my up, down. I have my horizontal, my side, side, and my sagittal, my forward, backward. And then we could also think I have above and below, right? I have above and below. I have heaven and earth. I can connect heaven and earth. I have the four directions, north, south, east, west. So all of these symbols, like Laban, I just did this session on spirituality and Laban. Laban was a Rosicrucian and actually started his own lodge in the early 1900s, in the early 20th century. And a lot of people were working with these platonic solids also, like Aleister Crowley. If you look at the Thoth deck, Crowley's tarot deck, there are a lot of uh, platonic solids in there. So people were understanding sort of the magic of these things, of these shapes. So we're going to move that. So we're going to work with the vertical, the up, down, the horizontal, the side, side, and the sagittal, the forward, backward. And we'll just move it in ways that are kind of free flow. So finding the vertical, the up and the down. And as we're finding that up, down, vertical, we could also think about like, what is our relationship to the heavens or the sky and to the earth, uh, whether or not you are religious or not. What is the relationship? What's up there in your reality? What's down here in your reality? Do you have a preference? So that vertical dimension, up downness. I could go up with one and down with the other, right? But as I move my arms in the vertical, my body is doing this side side movement. So my vertical dimension, my up and downness, if I do it with both at the same time, I'm practicing an upper versus lower pattern. This is a developmental pattern that babies go through. You see them on their bellies when they start to learn to push pull. That's upper versus lower. Jumping, upper versus lower. Taking some air time. Haha. When's the last time you jumped? If you haven't jumped and it's dangerous, don't do it. But if you can, ha. And another thing that we can find when we do that actual jump is that there's like the ground force and the rebound. There's this whoop, bouncy people, right? It doesn't just go whoop and stop. Like our tissue goes zip, it has a rebound. Yeah, just thinking about that. So here we are playing with gravity and the fluids in our body. And as we jump up and down, there's a rebound instead of just a. All right, let's go with horizontal, side, side. Playing with the horizontal dimension. Since we've come out of that relationship to heaven and earth, our up, down, now we're in our side, side. Do you know what's happening on either side of your body? Like, if I change my angle slightly, here we go. That's the south, and that's the north in the room that I am. Do you know, are you aware of the four directions in your body? So starting to bring that relationship online if you're not. And if you don't know, I think you can get there might even be an app on your phone that is a compass to start to know where north, south, east, west are. It's valuable information, maybe. I don't know, I feel like it is. I feel like I have relationships to these places. When I wake up in the morning and I see the sun rising in the east, I'm like, oh, hello, sun. There's this relationship of me and the earth. So that was our side. We could take both hands, and I'm adding this little bouncing in my knees because it feels fun. Or I could cross and open. I can enclose into myself and open, narrowing in, widening out. Taking up space. So I'm going to go back to the vertical again and talk about what this gesture, like if I do this gesture, what am I referring to? What does this look like for you? What do you think I'm talking about? Me. I'm talking about me. Here it is. This is a gesture bringing you into my midline. This is me. What if I do this gesture, opening into the horizontal, presenting? I am relating to you by opening into the horizontal, right? This is either an invitation, but this is just side. So if I'm side with my arms, if I have my arms out to the side and I look from one side to the other, I kind of feel like I have my two friends right there. Like, oh, hello, hello. I have you guys. Hello, Maria. Hello, Quentin. That's exactly how I would say it. Yeah, so it's the very much the we plane. So this, or the we dimension, this is the I right here. This is the I am. Here, this is the we are. So if you're feeling like you're a very giving person, everything's always going out, you might like to come back into your I am a little bit. Here, I am here. I'm centering myself. I can ground my energy. I can come into center. This is me. If you're a kind of narcissistic, selfish person, like most people in our culture these days, and you need to go out a little bit, take a look around. Who's out there? If you had your arms out, who would you put in those arms? Like right now, I'm living with my mom. She's here right now, and my boyfriend. So Anthony and Sheila, probably have them right there. So who is in your horizontal? Who's in your consideration on a regular basis? Is there anyone? Maybe it's your dog. Maybe it's your cats. My cats do not go in the horizontal. They go everywhere. They're taking up all the space. They're full kinespheric beings. So they are all sleeping upstairs on my bed right now. So that was that. That was the we. So that leaves us with the forward and backward, the sagittal. So I'm going to go straight towards this camera, which if I go just a little off, this is really my east and my west. East is behind me, west is in front of me. So, but let's just pretend it's here. It might be different for you. Taking it forward, taking it back. I'm going to move forward with this. I'm going to go back. I'm not ready for that yet. Yes, I am. I really want this. No, I don't. Can I make a decision? Can I move forward? Does it feel right? Or do I need to just, I need to back up. So what happens here? Decision making, discernment. Yes, I'm going to go forward. No, I'm going to go back. And so here maybe is the will. That's what I like to say. I will do something, I won't do something, but I really mean your will as a person in the world. Are you moving forward with your will? And also, this takes sort of a certain fieriness, like, I'm going to do it, right? We can, boom, yes, that's it, zoom, right into it. So feeling into forward and backward as will and decision making, action. Is there something that you're not sure about? Put it in your body. Am I ready to move forward? No, I'm not. I have to take this back. It could be anything. Is it moving forward? No, maybe not. So here's like within the octahedron, if I had the space outside of me, if I had the shape, these dimensions are the inner scaffolding of that octahedron. So you can use it to think about things like now we've felt ourselves in the octahedron. We felt our I, our we, and our will. I'm going to, I'm not going to. I will, I won't. Our decision making. Now, let's say we have something that's bothering us, like an issue, something that is weighing heavy on us. And it could be anything. I was having some like massive career, not about what I'm doing, just about it moving forward. And it was stressing me out so much. So I took the idea, I shrunk down my octahedron, and then I took it and just put it behind me. It's back there, but I don't need to worry about it. If it's behind me, I'm not a person who's spending a lot of time thinking about the past. If you're somebody who's spending a lot of time thinking about the past, you might want to take the idea and move it into the future. Or you might want to take the idea and move it to the side. Now, it doesn't have to even stay in the octahedron. You could put it forward, right forward low. You could put it left back high. You could put it in any of these places. But if you've got an issue that's bothering you, shrink it down and put it somewhere else for a while. And I have to say, since I did that visualization of shrinking it down, taking it and putting it back there, I have felt so much better. So just thinking about using that, thank you. I'm glad that yeah, it's magical. Yeah, so we can use these relationships to space to serve us. So another thing, this is kind of an interesting one, and the thing that I've been talking about a lot lately is negative self-talk and how toxic for us that is. So becoming aware of the negative self-talk. Where is it? Oh, it's all happening here, or it's here. And it's usually not here. It's usually here. It's like, can we shrink it down and maybe put it behind us? Shrink it down and just go, don't need that right now. Thank you very much. Not helping me. I don't need you. Okay, so let's move a little bit more. I wanted to do it this way. So here's an icosahedron. Next week I'm going to do the cube because I haven't done it really, and it's really three-dimensional, 3 equal spatial poles in each dimension. But here's an icosahedron. If we've gone from a dimension and we think of a dimension, these are my cat toy props. We think of the dimension as a straight line. There's the vertical dimension, up, down. There's the horizontal dimension, side, side. There's the sagittal dimension, forward, backward, right? Sagittarius, it's the archer, must shoot straight, boom, straight line forward. So if we want to think about a plane, this is actually our water bill, which is in here. But here's a plane. This is the horizontal plane, right? There are the 4 points. A plane is a 2-dimensional thing. So we have our 1-dimensional line. We move it to a 2-dimensional plane. And now I'm just sticking it inside the icosahedron so you can see that this relationship of these 4 knobs, these 4 outer points, would be the 4 points of the horizontal plane. If I take it here, this is the vertical plane. I've got my up, down, and a little bit of side, side. If I move it there, this is my sagittal plane. And then I've covered all the points. This has 12 points. So I've covered all the points by playing with those planes like that. So vertical, horizontal, sagittal. Somehow the water bill just fits right in there. And I went out I went into the other room right before class, and I looked at the icosahedron, and I had put the water bill in there, and I'm like, and it wasn't there. And I'm like, Mom, she was in there. I'm like, where's it gone? It fits so perfectly right inside my icosahedron. She's like, I took it out. Sometimes people don't understand that there's a method to the madness in the house. So let's play with the vertical plane, right? The door plane. And we can play within the points, like I'm hitting a point, lower point, which would be high right, high left, low right, low left. Or I could play with one hand, high right, crossing, high left, low right, low left. Just feeling how different it is to play with the points using both sides of your body, and then how different is it to play with those 4 points just using one side. What does it feel like? And so right now I'm circling around these places, or not circling. Well, yeah, I'm going around the outside. But what if I go through the middle? So I go from one point here down to another point, like I'm crossing and opening. I could cross both my upper and my lower. So I'm crossing high and then opening low, or I can cross low and open high. Basically what I'm doing right now is just giving you a million options, because I don't want you to lock in that there's only one way to play in here. I want you to start to feel like, oh, each of these have a slightly different personality. Each of them I'm going to relate to slightly differently. If I'm moving the same arm through all these points, or if I just cycle through the vertical plane. So this is the door plane. if we were going to go like into serious Laban theory and you needed to be tested on all of this stuff, we could go through really specific pathways through and everything, but it doesn't matter whether you know that stuff. What matters is that you can open your body out into space, right? You can feel the difference between crossed and open, crossed and open, right? So it's a very open person, very closed person. Sometimes we need to be open, radiating outward, and sometimes we need to close in, right? How does it feel to change those positions, to be in the very open door plane, like, here I am. That's like a little kid, like at the playground. Actually, just try it. It's really funny. Me and Maria are running forward and backward in this very open position. Or like, I'm here in the outfield. Give me the ball, right? There's an expectation and relationship. Just try it. What does it feel like in your body? And if you wave your hands around, right? Then like, what if you do this? I'm crossed. It's, oh, here I am, this little sylph, ballet world, right? I've changed into a different being altogether. This is just play. We're playing with possibilities. Now I'm coming into this flow for a second pretty much in the horizontal plane as a recuperation from that forward and backward little kid in the playground business. Now I'm like, cycling around my arms in the horizontal plane. So this is the table plane, like I'm cleaning off a big table. On a physiological level, when I'm spiraling like this, I'm affecting my lymphatic system a lot. I'm also hydrating fascia. All of this movement is hydrating fascia. Like anytime I'm moving, I'm hydrating, I'm reaching out, I'm greasing up my joints, synovial fluid in the joints. But with the spiraling business, twisting, I'm getting to some of the lymph nodes that are actually inside of my bones, meaning like not inside the bone individually, but in front of my spinal cord, in front of my vertebrae, in front of my rib cage. So in that area, is it in front of my rib cage? It must be. There's a whole bunch of lymphatic. And so sometimes when people have a hard time twisting, there's blockage in the lymph. And what is lymph? It's a detoxifier of the body. So that's spiraling through the horizontal. And this is also speaking of Qigong, we were actually speaking of Qigong and Tibetan stuff and Buddhism before the class. Qi or Qi, this is an exercise, right? To clear some of that stuff up. Working through the horizontal, getting that beautiful spiral through your spine. All right, let's take it into the sagittal. So we could actually, let's play some more in the horizontal. So let's do it with both arms and both sides of the body. So we're not crossing right now, we're open. So I'm opening forward, middle, back middle, back middle. So this would be right forward middle, left forward middle, right back middle, left back middle, right forward middle, left forward middle, right back middle, left back middle. Now let's cross. We're going to cross front, right forward middle, open to left back middle. Crossing right forward middle to left back middle. Let's stay on this side and be open in the front. Open, left forward middle, right back middle, left forward middle, right back middle. And one thing that I will say in teaching on Zoom is that sometimes people lose the depth. They might just be going side to side with this. So make sure you have a little bit of forward backward, but the dominant spatial pull is the dimension horizontal with a little bit of forward backward, a little bit of sagittal. Let's try it with the other side. So wait a minute, right forward middle to left back middle, because I have to change it. Right forward middle to left back middle, because this is the opposite for me, but I'm doing it so that you guys can mirror. Right back middle, left forward middle. And my other arm, this arm, is working as a counter tension. So I'm reaching forward to that point, reaching back to that point, reaching forward, reaching backward. Now, in this work, we want to think of the hips as facing front. So as my body is moving forward or backward, my hips are still facing front. So you can see I'm getting that spiral in my torso, which is that movement. And then we could cycle it around. Like I could walk. This would be great flocking activity if we were all in the same room together. We're circling around. And I want to go with a whole bunch of other stuff on this because it's so fascinating. Change direction, which I'm about to get to. Ah, So I can kind of present from my heart. Here, I'm sharing in the heart space with you. Heart level, presenting. Oh, and as my heart gets into it, my head gets into it, and I feel like here we all are, we're dancing together. It's so wonderful. Or we can gather and scatter, spreading out, disseminating the information, spreading the seeds. There are way too many innuendos that could be going with that. Also gathering in, yeah, sharing, town crier, telling everybody, this is what happened, let me let you tell. They'd probably be like this, yelling like that, but still sharing information, gathering, scattering. Just a good question for people who are adults. How much information, new information, do you seek out and take in, right? Is it threatening to your reality, or is it exciting to take in new information? Just noticing what's your relationship with that, with learning, with bringing on new ideas, taking them in. Because all of this work, we're doing it in our body, is taking on new ideas. Shake it out for a second, let it go. And every day is a different day in your body. So I could do this vertical one day and have a totally different experience of it another day. So don't think that, oh, it always feels like this. It could be different. We can do it differently. So let's go back to vertical for a second, the vertical dimension, and just take it slow. What if we slowly go up and we slowly come down? What does that feel like? What kind of image memories or imagination fantasies does that bring up when you go slower with that? And then the same thing, let's go slow, opening it out and slow crossing it over, opening and crossing. Skill in going slow motion. I'm still pretty speedy, but I can feel myself starting to slow down. And the same thing with forward and backward. Can I take it forward slow? And can I take it back slow? Oh, I'm gonna hit things. It's a good thing I'm going slow. Taking it forward. Slow motion. Anytime we bring it into slow motion, there's going to be more opportunity for awareness, right? More opportunity to reach into that slowness. We're back in the octahedron. Let's take it into the vertical and let's go in the vertical slow. Finding different ways of reaching into the vertical plane. So here we are in the plane. We've taken the dimension, we've opened it out, we've added some side, and we find the door plane, the vertical plane. Oh, I can take it down. Ooh, I feel myself wanting to speed it back up. Just free flow exploration in the space. And then the same thing in the horizontal. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Now I've come back to myself as soon as I came to the horizontal. So I've been pretty much binge watching the behavior panel, which is a group of people, of guys that are talking about body language and what people are communicating with their gestures, even with their words, with their expressions. So mostly they're doing it like they look at O.J. Simpson, they look at Michael Jackson, they look at murderers and psychopaths, and they talk about, they don't like look at, they look at really short clips of them talking about stuff. They look at Trump, they look at different people and talk about what is going on. Like, are they in their baseline for movement? Have they gone off? Like when people change, that's when things are That's when we want to look more. So, but one of them talks about the planes, and this is when I love this. I find it so fascinating because it really relates. It's all about the horizontal plane. So if I'm demonstrating the horizontal plane down here at my crotch level, this that he calls the grotesque plane. It can be kind of creepy or very like sexual overtones, like innuendo. Yeah. And then there's like movements that are down there, right? How are those movements in the grotesque plane? This is, the body language people. Here, coming from your guts, the truth plane. What's the truth like if I present it like this compared to like this? With my hand down, it's a very different thing than with my hand up, right? My hand down, when my hand is down, it can delineate finished, done, cutting something off. We're not looking at that. Then what if I come up here, open heart, open hearted? Yeah, the heart plane. I'm sharing. This is what the whole world needs more of. Can we come in and out of the heart space with each other? What does that feel like to share from your heart? Hmm, how is that? And then if we take it up higher, it's at eye level, it's like the visionary plane. So let's also try the heart plane with our hands palm down, just to feel the difference between that. For me, with the heart plane with hands palm down, I suppose I could wipe it out and it could be one thing, but it also kind of feels like my hands are skimming the surface of the water. Like it has a totally, I don't know what it communicates or what it feels like, but it feels very different than down here. At the heart, it's something else. I'm feeling a landscape. And then from the vision, let's go with vision with hands up, visionary. Oh, what a great idea. And let's go with vision hands down. It's maybe a little more controlling here. Like, what's that like, right? Hand down in the vision plane or hands up in the vision plane. And you can feel into your own body. What does it feel like? And then we're going to go up here, even higher. We're transcending into like transcendence. This is like, let's share it with the gods. And if you look at speakers, it's funny because now, I mean, so many people haven't been trained to use their bodies to talk. And it depends a lot on culture, but like, what's up there? And what if I do it like this? I'm delineating something. If my hands are palm down, if my hands are palm up or open, right? If I come into you like this, what am I saying? If I come into you like this, what am I saying? Right? If I come into you like this, right? So there's different things. Hard stop, boom, right? Or, I'm putting a boundary right here. Nice little boundary. All right, let's come in and discuss this. How's everybody doing? Anything to share?
Uh, it's oh, that's right, I'm being recorded. This is well, I feel like I was being sort of guided to sort of raise my vibration or my energy, my attention, and then it went to more of a cognitive feeling or experience of working with how we communicate with each other. And I haven't fully integrated both of those yet, and I feel good about the last presentation. I don't know if it's because I'm truly in the present moment or it's a combination of this. That's already things that I'm interested in. So my mind is already attracted and drawn to that. But I don't feel that my mind and body are completely communicating. They're interactive, but I don't know if they're communicating in sync. But it's a lot of interesting sensations happening all together. I feel like I'm a part of your experiment. like, like I'm a part of it. Not apart from it, but I've been pulled into going inside my brain.
Well, it's the body mind, right? It's all one thing. And so, and we've spent so much time separating that, like, when we go, oh, this is actually integrated. And like, if I'm going to, like, You can see I'm thinking to think of a I'm thinking to think up of an example to give to you. So it's something that I don't know. My eyes are going there, my hands going to my mouth. I'm trying to think of something to offer, right? If I'm thinking of something that I am trying to remember, my eyes might go there. So it's like this is how our body and all of us are always reading each other all the time. And some level of us knows the truth of everything. So like maybe it's our heart space, maybe it's our guts, maybe it's our, there's some dissonance, there's something here. Or wow, this is integrated and this is making sense. This is coherent, right? We can tune into those levels of our experience with other people. Maria, you want to say anything?
Yeah, sure. I want to talk about it, the difference between the movement in a natural speed and in slow motion. And I was wondering about it, that I really like the slow motion because it's intense and deeper, connected. But I was wondering, it's easier for me to go in slow motion. I like that movement. But the other one is also quite good as you don't get distracted. You just go to it. I mean, I was wondering, the slow motion is more intellectual, it's more, I want to understand, I want to feel, I want to know what's there, the human being on me, and the other one is more the animal. It's just doing and not knowing what it's doing, just doing. So I was surprised that it came to me, these two dimensions, the animal and the more brainy person, to understand it and what's here and what am I feeling, what is the
Mm,
emotion, you know.
yeah. Yeah, I would say it's the awareness in the slow motion. Like it's like, oh, we're taking our time. So there's this chance for this different kind of processing to happen, right? Like in this totally different level. So, okay, let's just go back. And do you want to say anything more or shall I? Because I know we didn't really play with the sagittal in the same way, and I want to play with that. Good? Okay. And here's just one more time to go through this. Here's the sagittal in my body. If I go like that, there's my front back. That's the sagittal plane. And in the sort of Laban theory, we think of these planes as rectangles because that's what fits in this in the icosahedron. Like if you think of a plane like a sheet of paper and a dimension like a single line, then that's like first we have the point, which is us, the awareness, and then we move into the dimension. We have two directions, and then we move into the plane. We have two dimensions, and then we move like three-dimensionally where we're going from one thing to another. And humans are obviously three-dimensional creatures. So this is just, breaking this down for the theory. So I want to talk back before we get into sagittal because it just came up to the idea that we are the center. We are the main ingredient. Our experience of being in the world is unique. It's our snowflake, being, but that's so important. Like where are we? We are the point that's going out or coming in. Like it's us. It's nothing else. And as long as we're alive, we're still coming from that. That's the I am or the like the point of being aware and I'll maybe awake, maybe asleep, but it's the one experiencing all the stuff. It's us, right? Whatever that is. And so finding what is that, the awareness of self, that's what I'm talking about. It's the self-awareness or the awareness of experience. Like I am aware of my awareness. I'm aware of my experience. I'm aware that I'm still getting over a cold. All right, so let's play with that in the sagittal because we didn't play with it in the sagittal plane. So we have the up and down and the forward backward, but really the primary part of the sagittal plane is the forward backward. So it's the wheel plane. It's going to only roll forward if it's going, or backward because it's a wheel, right? So we have this forward and backward and just feeling into that. So I have like a back high and a forward low. I have a forward high and a back low. And right now I'm just doing it with both hands. So where I could go forward low, forward high, backward low. Or I could reach on these different diagonals in there, right? Finding, or these, we call them diameters actually, if we're inside of a plane, moving from one point to another point. And then we can cycle through, right? We can somersault. So a somersault, a forward roll, is in the sagittal dimension. A cartwheel would be the vertical plane going around, right? A pirouette is the horizontal plane. So just thinking of those different possibilities. So now just to finish this off, let's play with moving from one plane to another plane to another plane in whatever way feels good, right? So we can do the cartwheel type movement, we can do the wheel movement, we can do the turning movement, and we can play in completely different ways with that. Just, I can go, I felt my cube trying to sneak in. So next week, definitely the cube. But today, working with the vertical, sagittal, horizontal, and can I go either dimension or plane into these places and find something interesting? Finding different ways to come from one to another. Here's your dancing, Quentin. And just feeling if you have preferences, like, oh, love to be in the sagittal, or oh, the horizontal just feels great, or oh, I just feel so good in the vertical. Maybe all of them, but usually people have preferences. I can't tell you how many dances I have that start in, this is my right hand, that start in right high, or in a ball on the floor. Like, it's just interesting how these things show up for us. All right, so coming in, final discussion. This is going to be off the video. If you have made it this far in TV land, come and join the actual room, brave souls.